Thanks for joining me. My name's John and this is my channel. And today I want to talk to you about, first of all, we said we wanted to escape the UK in a previous video, and this is our first attempt. Short and sweet, however, I'm going to tell you today where we are, what it costs to get here, where we're staying and what we're up to. So join me. So for those that were eagle-eyed on the last video, I am in Costa Teguise, which is in Lanzarote, one of Spain's beautiful Canary Islands. We're here for a week and I'll tell you why. At Christmas time, Yvonne and I were booked to come and stay here over Christmas and New Year. The plan was to have a super nice Christmas and New Year away from the UK. We had booked it a year before in advance, having had a little bit of a disappointing Christmas, a few challenges at home. We decided, right, next year, let's make this a little bit different. So we booked ahead of time. And as the holiday drew closer, my father had unfortunately passed away, and dealing with the grief of that situation, I wasn't really sure if going on holiday was the right thing for us. But then came redundancy from work. And again, in that situation, all I could really think about was, should I be spending money to go on holiday? And Yvonne and I sat down and we had a long time to think about it. And fortunately, we'd only paid a small deposit and the balance wasn't due till a few weeks before we were due to travel. So at that opportunity, we decided, let's review, let's have a think about what we're doing here. And in the end, we decided we would take the trip. So we flew out December 23rd over to Lanzarote. The great thing about coming here is it's about a 4-hour flight from the UK. We flew from Gatwick and it's on the same time zone as the UK, so you don't lose anything in sleep and jet lag and all those kind of things. And it has great weather pretty much all year round. It's early February just now, the sun is out, it's about 20 degrees. And we're enjoying a bit of a walk in the sunshine while I talk to you guys today. Now, I want to give a special shout out to Jonathan, the first person to tell me exactly where we were on the island, Costa Teguise. Great job, Jonathan. Thanks very much, mate, for the message in the comments. And for everybody else that's been leaving comments for me, I just want to say, if you're new to this channel and you haven't had a chance, go have a look at some of the posts in the past videos. When I look at the statistics on YouTube, I can see that the age bracket for this channel ranges from about 18, 20 years old, a few, but mainly the viewers are around the same age as me, 40s, 50s and 60s. And when I read through the comments, there is such a wealth of knowledge, experience, and just great advice. So have a look through. Great community. Thank you all for jumping on this so early. I've only just started the channel and I'm blown away by the repetitiveness of messages from people. I see the same names pop up, which is great. I love chatting to you all and I love hearing from you all. So here's a question that I've got to ask you all. I've stepped away for just a few days and I can't believe what I've left behind in the UK. Let me just verify this with you all and you can tell me in the comments. But since I've left, a 15-year-old school kid has been murdered by a fellow pupil, by the looks of it. Our Prime Minister appears to need vocal lessons, oral coaching on Christmas Eve, whilst we're in the middle of lockdowns. Council tax is going up by a bare minimum of 10% to fund bankrupt council offices for services that we no longer get. Is that about the size of it? Because that seems to be just a few of the headlines that I've read in the last couple of days. Keep me right on this topic, keep me right. So the main part about coming away for us is get an opportunity to be away from home. The last couple of months have been stressful and definitely a little wearing on the body. So some sunshine away from home is exactly what we needed. So we've booked a little apartment and I'm going to show you some more details about that shortly. And I'm going to give you a rundown of all of the costs, what we've spent, and we've used a couple of hacks to get here, so I'll share all that with you. All the ins and outs of the costs that we've spent to come away as our first opportunity to get out of the UK. Now, on the topic of the Labour leader, current Prime Minister Keir Starmer, let me just say this. During the lockdown period, my wife Yvonne, she unfortunately lost a couple of family members, and it was a really difficult time. An auntie unfortunately passed away in real tragic circumstances, and Yvonne and I, despite the lockdown situation, were able to get back home to Scotland. But on attending the funeral, only Yvonne was allowed inside. I was left to stand outside, separated from my wife in the pouring rain at a time when we really should have been able to be together and pay our respects. And when I find out from that time period that Keir Starmer was taking vocal lessons on Christmas Eve from a woman who was in a Tier 3 lockdown zone but travelled to a Tier 4 lockdown zone, which was apparently at the time not allowed. Whether it was written into law that it wasn't allowed, that's a different area to dive into. But the fact that he did that and says that he broke no rules is just disgusting to me. I don't know what's going on with the Labour Party right now, but it seems that they are hell-bent on destroying this country, whether it's giving away our assets in the form of the Chagos Islands. And I understand now that their initial offer to Mauritius of 9 billion will actually be more like 18 billion. So we are paying 18 billion of our tax-earned pounds in order to hand over our assets to another party. I just don't get it. It is a beautiful afternoon for a stroll. It's about 20 degrees. It's a little windy. You can hear some of the flagpoles around me maybe blowing around in the wind. But it is a beautiful day for a stroll. And I want to just show you a little bit of the waterfront here in Costa Teguise. There is an amazing walkway along the front of the ocean that circles past the hotel we stayed in the last time. The apartment we're staying in is just over my shoulder there. It's just at the edge of town. It's about an 8-minute walk from the apartment to the local bars and restaurants areas, but very easy to get around. It's a fairly laid-back area. Population of Lanzarote is about 160,000, there or thereabouts. It's one of the popular Canary Islands, but it's a great destination to fly into, super easy. But have a little look at this waterfront area. Just sucker for having a look at prices of properties. This one here is $500,000. This one here, $490,000. 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, $335,000. A bit more rustic, looks like 3 floors, $470,000. Crazy prices, expensive to live here. We just got the whole hog right at this one here. 1.25 for a 2. Let's go, bunny. What do we need? What do we need? Potato chip, I mean especially the classic paprika. International chocolate's just not quite the same, is it? It's not really into the whole Milka stuff. These big huge bottles here, it's massive. 8 litre, which is €2. Oh, there she is, sweetie section, right? Yeah. What are you getting? Classic. Okay. Eclairs are the daddies. Right. That's my one request. Thanks. Thanks. What do we spend?
€18.
It's funny how we always just go in for water and come out with €18 less. So our plan at Christmas was to come here from the 23rd of December and stay through to the 3rd of January. And we got here and everything was going fantastically. Hotel is amazing. We've stayed there once before. We made the decision to come and stay, and the first week was just perfect. Christmas week, we enjoyed a tremendous Christmas Eve, really nice Christmas Day, staying at the hotel, super quiet. But that's when things started to go slightly wrong. On New Year's Eve, I started to feel unwell. The kidney stone was on the move. I was having to take endless hot tub sessions. I know it's terrible, right, having to get in a hot tub. But just to try and ease the pain in my body, we did New Year's Eve. What a celebration that was, in bed, a lot of discomfort, and just trying not to need medical emergency care. However, this wasn't to last. On New Year's Day, I was just curled up in a fetal position on the floor of the hotel room. Yvonne in a panic, me mentally trying to say to myself, do not overinflate this situation. Just try and stay calm. But the pains in my body were overwhelming. So Yvonne went to the hotel reception, asked them for medical assistance, and they called a doctor. Now, the doctor took about an hour to arrive, really quick for New Year's Day, and I'm immensely grateful. €600 later, and an injection in my rear end of a concoction of God knows what, I felt like I was able to just at least relax slightly. So New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, complete write-off. And now we've just got to get to the 3rd of January and I'm able to fly home. Now, come the 3rd, I was in a much better place and it was time to get back on that flight and get home. But it really felt like half of the holiday had been spent with me not in a very good physical state. €600 later, and I have to say that was also a bit of my fault. I hadn't really considered having the kidney stones and putting them in travel insurance. That was a blunder, and I'll cover off the costs of this trip and what that took to put in place, and I'll cover that in a minute or two. So this is why in February the conversation came round. Should we try and go back on another trip now that I'm feeling a bit healthier, now that I'm feeling like I'm in a physical position to at least enjoy a trip away? Can we make up for the lost days that we had at New Year? That was the objective, and let me show you where we're staying now. This apartment complex is known as the Teguise Sol. It is a gated community, a number of properties, and we have booked this accommodation through website booking.com. I'll share some details below. And we are staying in this room to the left, which is number 659. Let me give you a little bit of a tour. So as you come in, got the main reception area. We have a little welcome book with some previous guests' feedback. In this location here, we got a great little desk, larger monitor, laptop stand, power, everything you need to be able to work from this location for a few days. And then we have the main living room area with 3-person sofa, large screen TV, which has been great in the evenings. I think it's a 65-inch. Dining table facilities if you need them. Dyson Hoover provided just to help you tidy up. And then sliding patio door, which has got a great little outdoor seating area. And then a view with the sea just down over there. And the park that we walked around earlier on. Swinging back into the apartment, we've got the kitchen area, which has a huge fridge. Really great for everything that we've bought and kept over the last few days. We do like to keep things super simple, no alcohol. Some water, some salad, some vegetables, some melon at the top there. And of course, we have the freezer section available where we've got some nice ice cream treats for later. Oven, microwave, and then we have all your amenities that you would need. The apartment came with some cups, some dishes, etc. Plenty there. And a handy air fryer, which we've used a couple of times to make a few treats in the evening. One thing that I will point out, which is really handy, is there is a cupboard here filled with original games like puzzles, etc. Over and above that, I've got my laptop, I've got my keyboard, so I'm editing videos and working from here as well. Got a really nice bathroom here. Slate, tiled, mirror. Hey everybody. We got the toilet. And then next to that, we've actually got a washing machine and the boiler. So it's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but does the job for us for a few days. It's a 1-bedroom property, double bed, side tables, lamps, wardrobe space, which had some spare blankets, some spare bedding, etc. if you need it. We have required it in the evening. There's no central heating, of course, but there's a couple of blankets there. And then little look outside into the gardens, the other properties that you can see. And that is effectively the apartment tour. Now, one quick thing I'll just mention, there is internet in the property. This little thing here I brought with me, it's a little mini travel router and I really highly recommend it. To give you an idea of what it does, it's a bit like taking your home internet router on your holiday with you. You know, when you're at home and you connect your phone and you connect your tablets and all your devices to your home router, well, you never need to enter your passwords when you're at home, right? Well, this is a little mini version that works exactly the same way. So when we travel and we stay in a hotel, we plug this in and using the app, which I'll show you on screen now, we will connect the Wi-Fi that's provided to this username and password. It then means that all of our devices connect to this, which also has a VPN facility built in. So it means that I'm not transferring any data through the property's own internet connection, but through this first. Really easy to plug in, super cheap, available from Amazon. I'll stick a link down below. This is not a sponsored video. I'm not taking any money from these brands. I just find this technology really handy. So everything that we've got with us, mobile phones, laptops, work connections are connecting to this device, then to the provided Wi-Fi in the property and protected via VPN. So we plug this in and then off we go. So here's the crucial question. How much has all of this cost in order to have a week in this apartment here in Costa Teguise in Lanzarote? So the first question is, how much did it take to travel just to the airport? It was about £20 in fuel. At Gatwick Airport, we parked using the parking service where you drop the car off. For 7 days, that was £89 through the official Gatwick app. For the flights, I used a bit of a hack. I had an American Express card which had accrued some points, also had a companion voucher. The companion voucher meant that you get free travel for a guest along with your booked flights. Now, I've accumulated that over a few years of travel from my last job, which I no longer have. So this was a perk and it felt like a good time to use it up. The flights were £50 return business class. Yep, 50 quid return business class. In terms of the accommodation itself, this apartment was £520 for 7 nights booked on booking.com. And now, one of the expensive parts of the trip was the travel insurance. Declaring the kidney stones meant that the cost was definitely much higher than we're used to. Normally a trip like this would be something like £50, £60 for the two of us for a week. On this occasion, it was £280. So that's my fault. get well soon, John, I guess. In terms of spending money and food, we make a lot of meals at home. We buy from the local supermarkets. We tend to eat fresh. So we've lifted €300 in total to cover 7 nights worth of eating. We will eat out, but that's incorporated into the £300. So this is the total. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this content, you can leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of it. First opportunity to get out of the UK for 2025. We said we would do it, and we've already achieved the first escape for February. Not a bad start to the year. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you on the next video. Look after yourself. Is it windy, Yvonne?